gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Let's talk about marriage.
They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
Parenting. Oh my gosh.
They have sucked the pretty right out of me. They treat me like it, and I do their laundry. Lucky me.
Sex.
I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Scary stuff like ghosts. I know, it's totally out of left field, but just go with me on this.
Boo, you whore.
Love.
I give you what you need. That's all. I'm talking about taking care of each other the best you can. What's wrong with taking care of a woman? She takes care of you.
Friendships.
We get our necklace says best friends forever.
You sure you want it to say forever? I don't think you guys will be best friends forever, no offense, but sometimes you grow apart. And maybe she'll find a new best friend. They end up doing everything together.
This is why I have no friends. Ew. We just wrote it.
I think we wrote it, and that's all you need to say over and over again.
The song. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to tell you, oh my God, I am just so out of it today.
Oh no. Is it all that weed?
But ching, might edit that out. Might not. No, I can tell you that is not the case. I can also tell you, I don't know if it's just like, I don't know.
I hope you're not getting sick. I know there's so much going around.
I know.
So
Now
much.
I'm nervous, but it's going to be fine. Positive vibes. I'm not going to start the week off this way. We're going to
No.
start the week off the right way with murder. First, I want to thank everybody for listening to today's episode of Sadie Has No Friends. Of course, it's Murder Monday with Kelly. Kelly has her very own podcast, and if you like murder, then she's the gal to go to because she finds stuff out that's just, she's insane. She's an expert. You're like a murder expert.
I should get hired someday.
Do you think that that they're like, that's called a detective? You're like, I invented this job.
I
think you
totally
get
know what I'm
away
doing.
knowing everything that you know about murder. Do you think you could get away with murder?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
I'd fuck it up. I'd leave like a Cheeto thumbprint somewhere and be like, oh no.
No. I
couldn't
could
wait to
not
get
do it. No, everything I know, it seems like people always get
Caught.
eventually. Hopefully, you
Yeah,
think.
but I don't know, because then you walk through like Walmart and you see that wall of all the missing people, and I'm like, what in the fizzle fud?
They're all sex trafficked, I bet.
You think so? Oh,
I
God,
bet.
eat
It's
it.
so prevalent. Even here, we have so much of it here.
We really do. We really do
So
here in
scary.
Colorado. And I only say here in Colorado because you know what I found out, Kelly? I got the October rundown of the metrics of the podcast. And we have a good number of listeners in Canada.
Canada. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I
They got their
know, like a
I
solid
love it.
number. And
And
so I
they're
was
nice.
oh, and they're so nice. So if you're Canadian or if you're not, just be sure to subscribe to the podcast and be sure to download the episodes. Put it on automatic download, or you may have to manually check that biatch because you know push and play just not enough anymore. Now you got to go the extra mile and click another damn button, but that's okay. Thank you, Kelly, for being here again. Kelly has her own podcast. It's called ODFM, and you can find it wherever you get any platform, really.
Under your bed. You can find it. It'll be there.
Well, my God, that got dark quickly, Kelly.
It always
Kelly,
does.
without further ado, what do you have for us to begin our November, the month of November?
Movember, as it's sometimes referred to, right? All the mustache thing.
Oh, no shave November. What is it called? It's just-
Movember, I think, wasn't it?
oh, Mo? That doesn't make sense, Kelly.
I make shit up all the time. I probably just made
Because
that up.
mowing would be like shaving, so it wouldn't be like, no, move on to murder. That's what you need to stick to, okay? Facts are not
All
your
right.
jam.
I don't know anything about mustaches, so I'll move on. Okay, so this is one of my all-time favorite episodes or stories to talk about because it's just so fucking out there. Okay, so have you know defense attorneys, they come up with all this wild ass shit to try to get
Get their
people
clients
off.
off. Yeah.
Right. So one defense was like the Twinkie defense, which I looked it up on Wikipedia. I've heard it a few times through some of these stories I've done. It's a derisive label for an improbable legal defense. It's not recognized as legal, but it's a catch-all term coined by reporters during their coverage of the trial of the defendant Dan White for the murders of Harvey Milk and George Moscone.
Oh.
Do you remember Harvey Milk? All that kind of, and San Francisco
Yeah.
type of stuff. So the defense for White was that he suffered diminished capacity as a result of his depression, a symptom of which was caused by a change in diet from healthy food to Twinkies or other sugary food. So basically, he was saying sugar made him kill.
Made him crazy.
Yeah. So, but
Sometimes
it didn't
sugar
work.
makes me lose my shit, but never,
Oh,
never.
yeah.
I mean, that's just next level. But it didn't work though. The
It
dude,
didn't work. No.
yeah, because
But
sometimes it does work. Like, do you remember a few years ago that really rich kid who'd been in trouble like a ton of times?
okay.
He got in an accident and he killed people, but they called it because he grew up rich, so he was never taught right.
Affluenza.
Affluenza.
Yes.
Yes. And that worked, didn't it? Where
It
they're like,
did.
you know
He
what? That kid has suffered. What an
Yeah. I think he still
horrible.
got charged with some stuff, but it wasn't to the point it probably should have been. Yeah. That was a bad one.
That was a bad one too.
Yeah. Well, this one, have you ever heard of the big dick defense?
No.
Well, I have a story to tell you then. It's
I can't wait to hear about today's murder. And it's okay. Well, get
Yeah.
started.
It's
This is your time to
Dickalicious.
shine.
All
Oh my
right.
God, it's Dickalicious. Wow. Okay.
You will have no sponsors after this. Okay, so
Oh, for God's sake, Kelly. Okay.
sorry. I just keep bringing you down. Well, this is the story, and it just has so many nuggets in here. So this is the story of Richard Patterson,
Okay.
who I'm going to refer to as Dick, even though I don't know if he goes by Rick, Dick, Rich, Richard, whatever. But for this episode, I feel like this word needs to be reiterated repeatedly. Dick.
'Cause he's-
So,
Okay, so we're gonna call him Dick.
Got
Got
it.
it.
Has to do with Dick's dick. So Dick, he's your face.
Oh, yes, again, if you'd like to see my shocked face and also pictures from the case that Kelly's talking about, which I put up, you can just go find the YouTube channel. Sadie Has No Friends. Kelly, continue on. Continue. Shock. I'm clutching my pearls right now.
Yeah, you're so innocent. So Dick, he's 65 and he was dating 60-year-old Francisca Martinez. They lived in Florida. So, of course, nearly every article I look up about him starts with the Florida man, yada, yada, yada. Like that meme that went
Florida
around.
is just insane.
I
Florida
know.
again. Florida again. Florida.
Always Florida. Like, do you remember that meme that went around where you would type your birthday in Google along with the term Florida man to find out your Florida man birthday article?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. No, I never did that.
You need to do that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to you after we get off. Yeah, okay.
Because you had a good one, I bet. Yeah. Okay. So by October 2015, Dick and Francisca they'd only been dating for about 4 months.
Okay.
Dick and Francisca, they lived in the Royal Palm Garden complex in Homestead, Florida. And it wasn't really clear whether they lived together or they both had separate units. They possibly met there. But neighbors said the couple had been heard arguing. They even said that Francisca had wanted to end her relationship with Dick. Who doesn't want to end their relationship?
You think sometimes you want to end the relationship, but then you go back and you're like, I got sucked back into the dick. And is this what happened to Francesca?
Yeah.
Getting sucked back into this dude.
You get sucked back into the dick.
Oh.
So Francisca, she was last seen by anyone besides Dick on October 25th of 2015. So on October 28th, Dick sent a concerning text message to his daughter. It read, quote, "Your dad did something really bad last night, and I'm so sorry." And that's all he texted. She's like, "Oh God, Dick, what did you do?" So he spoke with his daughter on the phone the same day of the text message, and he had told her that something terrible had happened and that he couldn't go on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something big. And so when his daughter asks him, like, well, what did you do? He wouldn't answer her. just kind of hung up. Dick was supposed to go to a friend's house to do a painting job, but he canceled. This is all that same day that he had sent this text. And he sent a text to the friend that said, "My meds are making me crazy and I can't function. Thank you, though." Thank you. Thank you, though. I guess thank you for offering to have a job for him. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But thank you.
But thank you. I'm going
Offer.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an honest answer.
Yeah. But then he sent another that said, "If I need to come to your house, I will drive. I need time to think I did something terrible."
Jeez, this guy's really going through it.
Yeah.
Something bad.
It's pretty bad. So only after these texts did Dick finally call not 911, but his attorney, Kenneth Padowitz. So it was his attorney who calls the police and says, "Yeah, you need to get to Dick's apartment. Something has happened there." So police arrive at this apartment. They find the already decomposing body of Francisca lying face down on the bed, covered with a bedsheet. So there's blood in the apartment and on Francisca's hand. There's a bag filled with blood and semen-stained paper towels.
Oh,
Ah,
why are we
ew.
bringing that into this?
He must be a secretor.
Why do stop using that word.
It's your new favorite. I'm gonna get you a T-shirt that says secretor.
Sadie
Type A.
secretes. The secretor. Please stop. Now I'm going to be thinking about that all day.
You're welcome. Okay, so yeah, they find this.
Couldn't just kill her. He had to somehow secrete upon her.
Yeah, there was so much secretions. Yeah, so they find these paper towels and tissues all over, recovered at the scene. There's no obvious signs of trauma on the body, but bruises were hard to detect as decomposition had set in on the face, neck, and arms. And it's Florida. It's warm and toasty and humid.
Warm and it's humid.
Yeah, so decomp happens faster. So the scene did look like somebody had attempted to clean up, like there was wipe marks and probably bleach and things around, but Dick didn't do a good job. So
yeah,
a medical examiner determined Francisca had been dead from between 8 and 24 hours before her body was found. I think it's hard to determine because of heat and all that different kinds of.
Really? Because it happens so quickly that the window just is so.
Yeah, I think it's different in different areas. I had a medical examiner friend. We should probably have her on sometime.
We really should, Kelly.
Yeah, we should. She'd probably enjoy talking about Dick. Okay, so your face again. So Dick was taken to a mental hospital under the Florida Baker Act, which allows the involuntary institutionalization and examination of a person if there's evidence of mental illness or if there's a possibility the person may try to harm themselves. And since I think he'd sent those texts saying,
I might do something, I can't. Yes, sure.
Yeah, they took him in. So Francisca's son, his name is Omar Andrade, or Andrade, I'm not sure, but he described Francisca as kind, friendly, she's independent, she's a go-getter. And the son, Omar, had only met Dick a couple of times, not long after the couple had started dating in the summer of 2015, which makes sense because they'd only dated for like 4 months before she died. And I know. Omar said he was shocked about her alleged murder since he didn't think Dick was capable of killing anyone. He was like, "This is a good guy. I didn't think of him."
Oh, he was just saying he was a nice guy.
Yeah, he seemed normal. Didn't think about him.
You don't know what's going on with the doors closed,
You never know. And Francisca hadn't once told him that she was having issues in her relationship with Dick. She'd always told Omar things were great, things were fine.
Right.
So there were no red flags, but
which I think is so common in moms, just wanting everybody to be like, it's fine.
I'm okay. I can take care of myself. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, okay,
you find out later they needed help. Yeah. So upon examination, the medical examiner noted that the body was in the early stage of decomposition and so badly discolored that they were unable to reach a definitive conclusion as to the manner of death because of the delay in being able to examine the body immediately after death.
So in Florida, if you die, they have to figure it out like fast or else
Fast.
they won't know. They
I
don't know.
guess that or this dude like turned up the heat massively in his apartment. I don't know, but
Oh, okay.
her neck wasn't broken, and the hyoid bone, it's this little cartilage in the neck that it's indicative of a strangling. Like if people are strangled, this bone usually breaks. It was also intact, so she hadn't been strangled. So
Ooh,
she didn't
okay.
die from that. Yeah. So Dick is arrested a week after his girlfriend's body is found, and he now faces a maximum of life in prison if he's found guilty of second-degree murder of Francisca. So apparently, with those texts and calls that Dick had made, he had told a friend that in addition to, quote, doing something bad, he had also claimed that he had choked Francisca. But Dick's attorney, so Dick's attorney is quick to point out he didn't confess to strangling his girlfriend. Instead, Dick claimed it was during rough sex.
Oh, which that's a thing.
It's a thing.
That's a thing. That could be an
people are into
alibi.
it.
Some chicks
Mhm.
some folks are into that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
And
It's not that weird.
he didn't do it hard enough to break that bone you were
Right.
talking about. So,
So it
you know,
didn't seem like he was aggressively
like
doing it.
angrily, you know.
Right, absolutely. So, in fact, there is a rough sex defense. Of course, there's a defense for
Of
everything.
course, there has to be.
Yeah. So it has been used in numerous trials in the past. And while it's not very successful, often it is a viable defense. The heart of the rough sex argument is that the victim died accidentally during consensual sex, which can happen and it has happened. You know, you hear about it. But Dick wasn't claiming he had choked Francisca with his hands, though. Rather, I know.
Stop.
He claimed she had asphyxiated on his oversized member, his dick, while giving him oral sex.
This is an X-rated show today. This is so bad.
You might have to.
Stop.
You
Stop.
might have to.
She suffocated. He's saying she suffocated.
Because he's so well endowed.
Well, if you're going to go down, you might as well really go down in flames and, like go for an insane defense like that.
And that's what he was like, yep, I'm doing it.
So was he saying, I didn't know she was choking on it? Oh, God.
Yeah. Like, she's fine. Keep going. But in 2011, there's a British dude that tried to claim the same thing. And he's now serving a life sentence. So it didn't work for that guy.
Yeah, I think anyone who has been in that situation, not to get graphic, like if you choke someone to death, that's there are signs, you know.
Yeah, you would think, right?
Tapping out now.
Yeah, pushing away something.
So you're not just gonna die.
I wouldn't think so. But anyway, so Omar, Francisca's son, he was 41 at the time of the trial. He thought Dick's defense was desperate. And he said, it's totally false. He's a desperate man trying to avoid being convicted for the crime. And he's just trying to do anything he can not to go to jail, which is exactly what I freaking thought.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
But Dick says he didn't immediately call 911 because he was embarrassed that his penis had blocked his girlfriend's airway, causing her to asphyxiate. Which is shocking. Like, he's embarrassed. Oh, I've got such a huge dick. Most guys wouldn't be so embarrassed, but
I was going to say, I mean, the guy was probably didn't calling the police because he was having a t-shirt made. I mean, that's like an insane defense to have.
Yeah. So the medical examiner for the defense testified under oath that Francisca indeed could have died from asphyxiation during oral sex. However, there's this other medical examiner who took the stand for the prosecution and said that Dick's dick would have to be lodged deep inside the victim's throat for 2 to 3 minutes. Minutes! Yeah.
I gotta say. Was it their anniversary?
4-month anniversary.
I forgot it was just 4 months.
Oh, it's a big one.
So he okay, so
Mhm.
somebody clearly had to examine the murder weapon.
Oh, wait until you hear about that. Oh,
Okay.
it's coming. Yeah, so
Uh-oh.
yeah. So this medical examiner had said if such an event had occurred, he said the victim would have put up a struggle, like we were saying, in an attempt to
Yeah,
free herself for air. But he didn't find any evidence of a struggle in the autopsy, and there was other evidence like fluid buildup in the lungs that would support asphyxiation, but it
oh,
wasn't definitive. So they couldn't quite tell what she died
right.
from.
Oh, shoot.
I know. According to his attorney, Dick didn't notice anything wrong with Francisca until he came back from the bathroom 15 minutes later after oral sex was over.
He
Like,
had to have known at
I
the end.
know.
He had to have known at the end. She probably just no,
I
everything
know.
about this just makes 0
Right.
sense.
Right.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
He went into the
That's
bathroom for 15 minutes and came out, and where was she, on the bed?
yeah, she was just passed out on the bed, and he's like, "Oh, whoops, I must have
I gave
that."
it to her good. She
I know.
passed right out.
Like,
Attaboy, Dick.
oh, so bad.
That's awful, this poor woman.
So bad. I mean, your whole memory is about, like, once you die, like, "Oh, that's the woman that was choked to death by a dick."
By a
No.
penis. She choked to death. I hope my family would make something up.
Make
Or
some shit up.
or either make something up or really embrace the fact that,
Like a
they
giant
did
penis
it.
tombstone.
Yes, or
Yes.
I'm wearing a shirt in the casket that said, "I died doing what I love to do," or like a big, like funny things like either fully embrace that's what happened, or
Absolutely.
make something up like a brain aneurysm or
Yeah,
something.
I fell off a bridge. I don't know, but it would be
Could you
bad.
imagine being the police officers who had to tell the parents, like,
Oh
"Well,
my god.
this is how." Oh,
No, or her
oh,
kids, even worse, her kids.
her kids are even worse.
Mhm.
Going.
It's all in trial at this point, and jurors hear a wiretap conversation between Dick and Dick's ex-girlfriend before this girlfriend. Her name was Holly Graff, and
Okay.
this was after Francisca's death, and in the recording, this Holly asks him, "Were you arguing?" And Dick says, "Holly, it doesn't matter what happened. I'm not telling you what happened because you don't need to know, period." And he told her that he caused the death and that he was gonna go to jail. And he had texted her that his meds were making him crazy and that he couldn't function. So once again with the meds thing.
That thing, yeah. Build in a defense already.
Absolutely. So this could be the most penetrating piece of the trial.
Totally honest. Never gonna sell to that family dentistry, Kelly. Never
Welcome.
gonna happen.
Sorry, I had
Oh,
to
it's not
add
even in your
something.
pack. God dang it, you and your penis stories, but I love every one of them. I
I know you do.
gobble them up.
There's so many good jokes just
I
sitting
know,
here.
it's like people wanna know what happened with this guy, so let's keep
Yeah. Okay. So Dick's attorney filed a motion to present some very substantial evidence to the jury.
Ooh,
They wanted to present Dick's dick as evidence. One could one could easily choke on such an enormous trouser snake or whatever you want to call it, monster.
have you ever been on
So
jury duty?
yeah.
What was it for?
A dude beating his girlfriend, and the girlfriend
Oh.
didn't want to press charges, but yeah,
Oh,
I know.
awful.
It was not for seeing a
See,
dick.
I've never had to do jury duty, which I've
No?
always kind of wanted to, but could you imagine getting sucked into like this and you're on the jury of this case and they're like, "Today, we're gonna bring in." How did they show Dick's dick?
Okay, so this is emotion. Like, the defense wants to show this Dick's dick. So, if the judge were to allow it, the public would have to miss out. So, darn it, it would only be viewed by the judge, jury, and lawyers. They weren't gonna televise it. So, a
That'd be
process.
so great though if they did and it was on court TV, but even
Oh,
if they covered it with like a censor bar, just having him stand there naked in court would be shockingly
totally.
awesome to watch. I would be like glued to the TV.
The ratings would go through the roof. They
I'd
should have done
watch.
it. Oh, for sure. I'd drive there to the court case to go see.
Kelly fired up.
It's like a freak show. So a prosecutor, though, he raises the question of such logistics of a presentation, like, is it going to be erect or is it going to be flaccid? Because
Right.
yeah, the
And
allegation is
also, I
tell
can't
me.
believe- also, you have to take into account the victim's throat.
Oh, that's
Her
true. That
size. Are all throats the same
I'm
size?
sure not.
One size fits all? I don't think so. I would
Oh,
imagine it
you're
would all be.
probably right.
So then you
I
got to look
mean,
at that too.
that's true. That's a great.
But
That would have
first,
been a great defense for him.
let's start looking at that wiener first.
Let's look at this wiener first. So, since the allegation is that they were having sexual intercourse, and I'm assuming the size of the penis does matter for the defense, he claimed that, yeah, it should probably be unveiled erect and aroused for the jury.
Did he have a fluffer there? You don't know what a fluffer is? It's somebody who works on a adult videos porno site.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say it because we're already, 25 minutes into this. But a porno site, and they have someone there to make sure that they are ready to present themselves in the best of lights.
It's like fluffing pillows.
I think I should jump right into a sponsorship right now by hold on, Kelly, thanking the folks at Garage Door Service and Sales. Been in business for 70 years. You need a new garage door, Kelly? Stop it. You need a new garage door. Maybe this is such a weird, troubling story that you need something to do. And so this is such terrible. All I could think about is being on the jury and what would I do? I'd giggle like a girl. I would. I'd be shocked and then I'd giggle. Go to garagedoorserviceandsales.com. That's garagedoorserviceandsales.com, and be sure to mention the podcast. That would be really helpful.
And specifically this episode.
Specifically, if you haven't shut it off yet, specifically this very one. Hey,
Okay.
Okay, keep going.
All right. So Dick's attorney, he claimed that showing the schlong is pertinent to their defense because he's like, you know what? This other
Once
lawyer,
they see this monster, you're
once
going to be walking out of here.
you're
with
going to be
your
like,
wheelbarrow.
that anaconda don't want none unless you got fun, son. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So he told the prosecution that the other lawyer wasn't qualified to say that a person could only choke on an erect winger. So he's like, it's material and relevant that the medical examiner fully sees it in both lights, and they could go from there.
Sure. See where it
So
goes. Take a peek.
yeah, and he's like that it's vital for the jury to see it in person so that they could see the actual object of death that we're talking about. So he
Did they
wanted
do
it.
measurements? Did they do measurements?
Oh,
They
yes.
had to have it. I mean, it could have been a deadly weapon.
Yep, they even went so far as to provide photos of Dick's wiener to the prosecution, including one with it photographed next to a tape measure and yet another with Dick naked from the waist down. So when a judge hears about the photographs, she asked about the state of the member, like basically asking if it's hard or not. And the prosecution says it's definitely not erect at that point of the photos. Yeah. So it's quite
Oh my
large, even.
God, it was much larger than the actual photos that they presented to the court.
Well, the photos were with it not erect, but
Okay.
it was still very big, apparently.
That's why she
So
couldn't walk away.
she couldn't walk
She was
away.
victimized.
Ah!
Guys,
So during this back and forth banter about his Johnson, this is all happening in court. Dick sat there stone-faced, dressed nicely, and he's sometimes fidgeting with his watch. Can you imagine somebody sitting there talking about
but he feels proud. It's not like somehow he killed her from having the world's tiniest one. He like killed this. He's forever. Well, I've never heard of this story, but now
right. Now you can't forget it.
people who know the story, they're always going to remember this guy is like, you know what he did? He literally killed a girl by this because it was that. And
Ew.
people are going to be fascinated forever with him.
He could go on a circus tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another attorney who had handled a different rough sex defendant in the past had heard about the idea of having Dick get naked in front of a jury, and her reply was, "Really? Couldn't they just make a mold or something?" Which coincidentally they were also thinking of doing, which could then turn into merchandise.
Oh,
It could
okay.
become a whole
Become a
product
whole
line.
conglomerate. Yeah.
Yeah. So after a medical examiner testified in court that it's unlikely Francisca died by choking during a sex act, Dick's attorney reverses course. So he's like, okay, well, that's not working. So they decide not to try to prove that her death was due to his massive stiffy, but instead focus on the fact that her death was undetermined. So they
Oh.
said, she could have died from a stroke or a heart attack that went unnoticed by Dick while he's in the bathroom for 15 freaking
Yeah.
minutes.
It could have been just a freak thing. There's no sign of being choked. Like,
Right. And
okay.
she wasn't bruised. They
He
couldn't
might have
tell,
had
I
a
guess.
heart attack and he may have just been really full of himself and be like, what have I done?
Oh, my giant dick did it again.
It's like, no, she had a stroke, you asshole.
Oh, no, Dick. So even Dick's attorney admitted it's unlikely that Francisca had died by penile asphyxiation, as they called it. So
What a
I know. But he even
There's a
said that,
name for it.
yeah, or they coined it. I don't know. But he said that is not the way she died. The lawyer said, but that's the way Richard Patterson thought she died. And he believed that's how she died. Kind of like you were saying, he's just like, oh, my massive dick.
Oh
Once
my
again.
God.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Richard or Dick. No, it's not all about your dick.
Honey.
It's not that impressive.
I'm down.
But after this week-long trial, the jurors took 5 hours to deliberate before reaching a verdict, and Dick and his attorney hug after the not guilty verdict was read.
No. Is this because of the Florida heat? They could never truly figure it out?
Yeah, so I guess they never quite figured out.
Wouldn't they be able to tell in an autopsy if it was a heart attack or an
That's
aneurysm?
what I would have thought. Yeah, that's what I would have thought. But maybe it was 2 decades, so
Oh my gosh. So
I don't
Dick
know.
gets to live the rest of his life telling people
That he killed by
he did
Dick.
that.
Yeah.
He killed with his wow, no justice for this gal, huh?
Nothing. Yeah, and her family was really upset about it. Like, so angry, left the room, wouldn't talk to the media, no comments, all that kind of stuff. It was just
What are you
sad,
gonna say? First of all, it had to have been humiliating to sit there
horrible.
day after day and hear about, your daughter's personal sexual life.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
or your mother or
Mothers. It'd be
your mother.
horrible.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
then to have to talk to reporters and be like, well, I guess it's true. She died doing that.
Right. But either way.
That would be like last on your list, wouldn't it, Kelly?
Oh, for ways to die? Absolutely. Hell no. Like anything horribly sexual that would be embarrassing or traumatizing. So different for women than men. They wouldn't,
Yeah.
they'd be like proud of it, but women, no.
Like we saw with Dick with his sitting in court.
Dick's dick. Yeah. Yeah. So that is the story of Richard Patterson. Dick defense.
But it didn't, it did work.
It did. I mean, yeah, basically because they couldn't determine how she died. But isn't that horrifying?
That's horrifying. And it makes me sad because usually the stories you tell, there's like an ending where the bad person dies or goes to jail. But you're saying that Dick gets to live the rest of his life and this poor mom died.
And why wouldn't he have called right away?
Why
I don't know, if he was so innocent.
Yeah, no, there is absolutely no way.
He should have at least gotten maybe tampering with a body or something for not having reported it. Or there is a failure to report a death. That's one.
But he did report it. He just took a sweet time.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know.
Oh my gosh, these and many more stories on her podcast, ODFM. I'm going to be putting on the screen the logo to her podcast. She's got I love that you do seasons. I'm thinking about stealing that and doing seasons too, because I'm like 172.
I know.
And I think I should probably figure out a way to make this a little bit more organized, but I don't, whatever.
Whatever.
But yes, download, subscribe to ODFM. And Kelly, thank you for another Murder Monday.
Yes, thank you for having me. I hope you keep your sponsors.
I worry about today, but this is a true story. It's not like you made it up.
No, it's you'll find pictures. You'll find pictures of the dick. He's not that impressive. Not Dick's dick. I don't think they have pictures of that. Well, maybe he's in a porno now. I don't know. I could see it.
And what I'm going to write down this guy's full name. Richard
Patterson. Wait, was it Patterson? Yes, Richard Patterson. And the woman is Francisca Marquinez with a QU.
I'm surprised this guy didn't go into adult entertainment, because you know the Hobbit guy did. He got it cut off, reattached, then he got into porno. And you would think that this would maybe be the same thing with this guy, because we reward people, it seems like, in society who do really bad things.
It's true.
So I could see that, you know.
Although this dude was 60 at the time, and that was 2015. So, you know, but they have old
70, 69.
Yeah, they have some mature ones too, I'm sure. Mature content. Mature as in senior citizen. Yeah.
I'm going to go take a hot shower.
Get clean.
Oh,
I know. I figured you'd appreciate that one.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Goodbye, friend.
Bye, friend.
God, I'm in a dream about that. Oh, what a horrible way to die.